Today is Tuesday is brought to you by MSI, the leading brand in high-end PC gaming. The music source. Make your live streaming look and sound professional. Get your Mackie and other pro audio products at the music source. XSplit, a live streaming broadcast application. And Smart Communications. Lead the smart life. Click the links below our video to avail of all our sponsors' products and services.
Today's Tuesday, you know what that means.
Alright. Welcome po sa isang edisyon ng Today is Tuesday dahil araw po ng Martes ngayon. Jing Garcia po ng TechSabado.com and of course the Manila Times. Editor po tayo doon ng Sunday Business and IT. So tuwing Sunday po lumalabas sa ating pahina para po sa the Manila Times. Pero tayo rin po managing editor ng Tech Sabado. Siyempre, isa pong programa tuwing Saturday also on YouTube and Facebook. 8 o'clock din po ng gabi. Kasama naman natin doon si Atty. Melvin Calimag ng Newsbytes.ph. Pero dahil araw ng Martes, ngayon po ay Today is Tuesday. Siyempre, pag Martes, ang kasama natin, walang iba kundi si Tito.
Yan. Si Tito Raymund Tribdino po, Tito Tribs, from Malaya Business Insight and TechSauce.ph. Ang kaibahan ho namin ng mas gwapo sa aking kaibigan na si Atty. Melvin ay buhok. Yan. Tsaka mas gwapo siya kasi attorney siya eh.
Uy, medyo nawawala-wala yata ako pero nalalayan na lang ako trips then puputol yung aking connection ko. Pero yeah, explain natin kung bakit tayo nag-ere ng Martes.
Yan. Today is Tuesday po ay nandito dahil sinasabi po nila that Tuesday daw ang pinakamatumal na araw ng linggo. Pero, di ba? Siya ang pinakamatumal daw. Pero, lagi ko naman pong sinasabi na pinaka-productive ang Tuesday kasi siya ang launch off from Monday Blues at preparatory day. Ito actually dapat ang unang araw eh. Kasi syempre pag Monday galing ka sa weekend, Monday Blues. Wala naman Tuesday Blues, di ba? So, so yung Tuesday, magpa-pump prime ka for the rest of the week until the next weekend.
Ganun ba yun?
Yan.
Sige yan, papakan natin yung explanation yan. Dahil nga araw ng Martes ngayon.
Correct.
Oo. Sige, salta ka lang. Maglipat ako ng internet connection.
Sige
lang.
Sige po.
2 seconds.
Yan po ang mga challenges ng online broadcasting. Pero hindi naman po totoo na kahit sa normal on-air broadcasting, kahit sa radyo po, nangyayari din po yan mga technical problems na madali naman pong ma-sort out dun sa nung araw nga ang kalaban ng TV, yung white space ang tawag, at saka sa radyo ang kalaban ay dead air. So kapag ang mga taong naging responsible para sa dead air at sa white space, kung hindi nakakastigo, nawawalan ng trabaho, di ba Tito Jing? Nung araw, yan yung nun eh. Yan ang palo talaga nun eh.
I'm back.
Yes.
Narinig ko na white space. Dead
diba?
air. Dead air tayo ng konti.
Dead air tayo ng konti.
I need to jump to another internet connection.
Correct. Kaya for example, a couple of weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, di ba? Tito Jing, nawala tayo on air for a while, one show. Kasi ganun din. Natamaan din tayo ng technical glitch.
Yes, technical glitch yan sa ating internet connection.
Correct.
Pero yan, okay. Teka lang titingnan ko muna kung sino may mga sa ating Facebook page. Baka mamaya sabihin nila hindi natin sila binabate. Pero sige lang.
Sabi ni Nato, Tuesday Blues is just an extension of of those that suffer from the Monday. Parang nagkaroon ng relapse daw, di ba? Parang yan. So, hintayin natin mamaya si Nato. Nandito ang estudyante ko, Jing, si Chester Vidon, mga estudyante ko sa nag-start uli kami ng klase, sila yung mga students ko for practicum.
Face-to-face na ba kayo? Hindi
pa. Online. Kaya laki ng challenge. Laki ng challenge.
Thank you, Chester. Note ka rin pag Saturdays.
Yes, Tech Sabado. Alam nila yan.
Alvin Pingol, good evening. Tech Sabado Tuesday, mabuhay. Yan, Sabi nga
Galing.
nila, mabuhay. Mamaya, no, pag-uusapan natin with Nato yung mga tungkol po sa pagiging, author ng isang libro at the same time, yung problema ng publishing. Kasi
Oo.
dahil because of digital technology, no, medyo nagkaroon din ng nagkaroon din ng digital transformation when it comes
Correct.
to no, the whole
Publishing.
yung literary
Mm.
parang yung camera the way it affected photographers.
Correct.
Marami na rin mga writers na nag-pivot to digital. Marami namang publishers ang tinamaan din. Mamaya
Tama.
pag-usapan natin 'yan. Yung mga problema at saka siyempre kung ano mga issue ng publisher. Saka paghanap ngayon ng magpa-publish
Pa-publish.
ng libro sa iyo.
Mm.
Yan. Si Renato Tranquilino kausapin natin maya-maya after ng ating mga segments. Okay, 8:07 sa buong Pilipinas, Philippine Standard Time. Alam mo, nagbilang oras pag no? Pag nasa radyo tayo eh.
Oo.
Oo.
Parang yung signal natin talagang gumagapang itong araw na to. Hindi ko alam bakit. Dahil ba meron tuloy-tuloy ang ulan or kanina pa kami mabagal ang signal dito sa amin sa
Actually,
Laguna.
I think it's a problem for the past couple of days, especially
Okay.
nung nagkaroon ng outage the other day. Parang naapektuhan din yata kami dito sa Cavite, although hindi naman kami converge, pero parang naapektuhan yung baka hindi ko alam kung yung internet connection dito kaya nga lumipat, baka nga nag-ride on sa sa pipe ng converge. Pero anyway, yes, at saka itong Taal is acting up again.
Oh, okay.
Oo,
Okay.
so medyo yesterday nga nung kasi si Caitlyn saka ako, we had to go to Manila kasi naka-schedule yung vaccination niya. Pagdaan namin umuusok yung Taal.
Oo. Nandiyan kami, Tito Jing, pumunta kami sa Balete, doon sa tinatawag nilang boardwalk, Balete boardwalk. Yung kapirasong concrete stretch ng dapat naging kalsada doon sa We were there yesterday. No. Sunday morning. Sunday morning.
Okay, Michael Lance. Good evening mga idol. Good evening din sa iyo, Michael Lance. And of course, si Maab Sala. Good evening, sir. Mukhang
Hindi.
kilala
Si
mo
Maab,
pa.
estudyante ko yan and she's based in the Middle East.
Okay, good.
Galing, Oy, Michael, magandang gabi.
Yes. Okay. Tapos may mga tayo ngayon, mga nagiging issue ngayon natin this week, yung marami nangyari dahil election. Ang init talaga di ba? And minsan kaya hindi ko na maintindihan kung anong babasahin ko.
Correct.
So pag ganyan po, antayin nyo na lang po pag Martes saka Sabado. Mag na lang po kayo sa streaming namin nila. Dito stream saka ni Lolo Melvin.
Lolo Melvin.
Magalit ko ako ay Lolo. Anyway,
Tito Jing, baka tirahin ka ng libel. Merong isang journalist na taga Iloilo na convict, di ba?
Convict, no? Gabi, no?
Oo,
Sa Pilipinas lang ba ang crime ang libel? Kasi alam ko dapat civil lang yun.
There are a couple of countries also around the world. Pero ako naniniwala ako na talaga.
Hair flip ako dyan. Tungkol sa libel na yan.
Dapat talaga, it should not be a criminal case kaya
civil. Hair flip po sa libel. Hair flip.
Yan, pa-hair flip natin si Melvin.
Criminal for yung as a criminal offense. Ayan, hair flip.
Ayos.
Hindi mo kaya yun.
Hindi ko. Lalo na si attorney, hindi niya kaya yun.
Wala. Pag yung ulo niya malalaglag. Gabi, no? Winawarak natin sa attorney porkat wala siya dito.
Wag natin papanoorin yung recording ng stream.
Nagkakatuwaan lang po kami. Ganyan po kami pag-Martes. Ganyan din kami Sabado. Ginagawa lang po namin. We're just lightening up your day.
Correct. We had enough of politics and elections and posters and libel.
And COVID.
Pare yung COVID, ibang klase, no? Tito Jing, ibang klase. So, in the European countries, biglang nag-shoot up. Tapos may mga expectations that in countries like China and so on, baka mag-shoot up ulit.
Ganun nga rin dito dahil nga mukhang back to normal na yung mga tao.
Oo, correct.
Boo. Pakantayin na lang natin sila muna.
Today is Tuesday, you know what that means.
Po. You know what that means? Pag
Yes.
Martes, nandito po kami.
Oh, you know what that means. Ang Tuesday sa Catalan, which is, I think, a dialect
Catalan
in
is
Spain.
in Spain,
Oh,
yeah.
di ba? Oh.
Catalonia.
Catalonia, di ba?
It's the same, right? Catalan.
Dimarts. I don't know if that's the correct pronunciation. Dimarts.
Okay.
Dimarts. Yeah.
Today is Tuesday, you know what that means.
Ang saya dito eh. Actually, sobrang believe ko sa'yo na nahuli mo tong ano.
Yo, hinanap ko yan, pare.
Tuesday.
Bagay na bagay.
ang kwento niyan, Tito Jing, yung Mouseketeers, kasi syempre, aminin na natin, we're 50s, di ba? Nasa 50s tayo.
Inabot
So,
yan.
yung mga Mouseketeers na abot natin yan, and syempre, nung age natin yung pag pinapanood mo yung Mouseketeers, wala kang pakialam dun sa mga lalaking Mouseketeers, dun sa mga babaeng mouse. Di ba? Gaganda nila.
Mismo.
Right?
Pero hindi natin inaabot yung 60s na kung saan galing yung kanta.
Hindi natin naabot yung kanta na yan.
70s
Pero,
lang.
oo. Pero, ginagamit, because that used to be the soundtrack of Tuesday, di ba? Kasi may guest sila.
May guest sila. Tulad natin, no? Pag Martes, may
pag
mga
Martes,
guest tayo.
may mga guest tayo.
So,
Yan.
ginagamit nga. Special day nga yan. It's a special
Correct.
day for them. Kaya nga may kanta silang Tuesday.
Today is Tuesday.
Today is
Di
Tuesday.
ba? Yun.
Okay,
So,
anong iyong favorite website na ma-recommend natin sa mga tao ngayon?
Ang aking favorite website ay ang WikiHow. So
narinig ko
diba?
na yan. Hindi, pinupuntahan ko yan. WikiHow.
WikiHow. So yung WikiHow, hindi yan, well actually hindi yan kakampe. Hindi yan kapartner ng Wikipedia.
Iba yan.
Naunang dumating yung Wikipedia bago yung WikiHow, tsaka lahat ng mga ibang wiki na dumating, di ba? Mga WikiLeaks and so on and so forth, tsaka lang sila dumating. So yung WikiHow, yan ay marami silang mga laman diyan sa WikiHow na how to do things. So actually Tito Jing, since late 2019, meron silang content na hindi nila tinatanggal dun sa kanilang expert co-authored articles. Saka, explain ko muna paano yung WikiHow. So yung WikiHow is a source of how to do things. Gusto mong gumawa ng resume, gusto mong mag-set ng table, gusto mong mag-ayos ng gripo, mahahanap mo yan. Basta search mo siya dyan. So the interface is very simple. There's just a search box. Tapos, what do you want to learn on WikiHow today? So type mo, di ba? Ngayon, binuksan ko yung website, yung kanyang co-authored articles ay how to roast a turkey. Oh, di ba? Tapos how to bake an apple pie. Mga ganyan, di ba? Kasi November na, paparating ng Thanksgiving sa kanila, di ba? Sa Amerika, di ba? So may sunod-sunod. Tapos may mga ibang mga ideas. Naalala ko dito ko na pick up kung paano mag-set up ng multiple monitors. So tinignan ko dito. Kaya paano gumawa ng crossword puzzle. Pero kaya
paano
ko siya
gumawa ng crossword puzzle?
Ang pinakamaganda daw ng crossword puzzle yung 36 by 36 eh. Tapos yung magsisimula ka sa middle line, papunuin mo from each side. Tapos I think it's just all creativity, most of it, kasi kahit sila doon, sinasabi nila creativity. It's in the definition eh. Pero Tito Jing, sa WikiHow, for the longest time, meron siyang post na hindi ko napapansin na naaalis. How to stop the spread of misinformation online.
Okay.
Yan, nandyan yan palagi. Di ba? Nandyan yan palagi. Tapos ang kanilang motto is how to do anything. So, kasi nga, ang basic lang ginagawa noon, crowdsourced lahat ng content, tapos as it develop, nagkaroon sila ng mga experts, mga cook, mga scientist, mga mekaniko, mga karpintero, di ba, mga technician, mga dumating, mga etiquette experts, di ba, ganyan, nakakatuwa, sexperts, meron ding dumating na nagtuturo nung lahat ng mga information na yon. Tapos syempre as they develop, kailangan mag-monetize para mag-survive yung yung website nila. Meron silang community dashboard, meron silang pro version na kailangan mo magbayad ng konti, pero mas maganda yung nakukuha mong content. Diba? Mas maganda yung nakukuha mong content. May actual courses na pwede kang makakuha ng some certification, ganyan, di ba? From experts. So, ang galing ng WikiHow. Punta po kayo dyan sa WikiHow. Marami kayong matututunan. Finances, life, pati mga life hacks, ang dami dyan. Mental health, mga ganyan. Photoshop skills, di ba? Diyan ko natutunan yung mga keyboard skills sa Photoshop. Kahit wala kang mouse, kaya mo gumawa ng Photoshop, di ba?
Yes. Okay, ano yung link sa ating comment section?
Okay, lagay natin dito. WikiHow. Lagay natin sa comment section natin ngayon.
So, bago natin banggitin natin recommended YouTube channel naman, tingnan muna natin, baka mamaya may mga ano sa atin dito.
Yan.
Okay. Ayun. Ba, dami ng comments
Oo nga, sabi may scammer yata na nakapasok dito. Sabi
ni Senoting, meron ba dyan Tito Tips how to make baby boy? Owen Sayaman, I'm a project manager. Gago.
Grabe yan. Toot.
Owen talaga. Ano to mga tropa ni ni Dato to Yours, Binaraw. Good evening, Tito Jing and Tito Tips.
Yan. Sabi ni Nato, I was too young to find out how hot the female musketeers were. They are decently hot.
Decently. Si Britney Spears was a
musketeer.
Pero
ano na yon? That's when they decide. That's when they redefined what hot was.
Yeah. Tapos The Verge. And then ito yung shinare ni Tito Tips last week. Yung The Verge. Yes, sabi ni Seven. Bagong-bago Grabe kayo, inaapid nyo si Chief Justice. Si Ram Jason Huevos, masilam na Banggi, watching now po dito sa Ginubatan Albay. Masiram na gabi na Banggi, good evening in Bicolano ba 'yan? Kasi from Albay masiram na gabi, yes.
Watching
same to you. Kabo ng web to paano kami mga kalbo. Libel meron din sa Australia and US. Meron talagang libel. Ang problema kasi yung as a criminal offense kasi libel should be just a civil case, not a criminal case against the journalist. Yes. Kung civil, di danyos, hindi kulong, nabubulol, hindi kulong.
Correct.
Danyos lang, damages, kung meron man. Pwede, nakakaano rin ng damages, kunyari, sabi nyo, bayad ka ng 1 billion.
Yep.
Tawag mo ng 1 billion, di ba? Yun. Dapat wala nakukulong sa libel, dapat yan. Parang wala nakukulong sa utang, di ba?
Tama. Sa Amerika pala, wala na pala. So it used to be, it was once I'm reading from the First Amendment Encyclopedia. It was once primarily a criminal offense. Pero bumaba na siya, primarily now a civil claim.
Sa US?
Oo, primarily now a civil claim. And ang dahilan bakit siya naging civil claim kasi divide yung mga uri ng mga klase ng ways kung paano ka yung mga ape, quote unquote, sa mga, di ba, calumny, defamation, slander, mga ganyan. So parang hiniwalay, kinahon-kahon nila.
Pag-uusapan nila dito daw yung SNR.
Oo nga
Ano ba yan nangyari dyan? May nakita lang ako kasi hindi pa confirm yun. Ito ba yan?
Correct. Ayoko muna tawirin yan until makakuha natin yung totoong information.
National Privacy Commission ang dapat mag-report niyan. Kasi mahirap na baka sabihin rumor mongering tayo dito.
Correct.
Okay, good evening. Sabi ni RJ Espinosa. Good evening, Sir Jing at Tito Tribs watching FB Live from Padadad, Davao del Sur. Wala ako kinalaman sa Seven Hosting. Defensive. Nabaltaan ko lang sa GC sa kabila. Sa kabilang parlor. Sa may kabilang parlor na yan, ha? Grabe mga chismoso dyan, ha?
Oo nga eh.
Okay, ang aking share na YouTube channel na part ng mainstream media, kumbaga. Part ito ng mainstream media. It's still one of my favorite, no? Kahit na sabihin nila na yung media raw, di ba ngayon, tinitira ang media, yung mga CNN, NBC, mga
Correct.
ganyan, di ba? Tapos, sino pa ba? Washington Post, New York Times, kaya. Pero isa sa pinaka-favorite ko talaga, ever since, no, even nung nasa shortwave radio ko, nakikinig, walang iba kundi ang British Broadcasting
There you
Corporation.
go.
BBC.
Yes.
Not because not only because of the news and how they present their news. Alam mo, napaka-boring ng BBC. It's one of the most para siyang it's as boring as Channel News Asia.
Yes. Which is patterned after BBC.
Yes, di ba? Yung Channel News Asia talaga, obvious na
Correct.
siya. Napaka-boring talaga. Napaka-boring na mag-deliver ng news.
Yep.
Kaya tayo nila mag-exciting, mga British di ba? British
Correct.
humor. Pero boring pa rin. Hindi katulad ng US the way they present the news as parang AM radio. Alarmist. Diba? Alarmist.
Entertaining. Ginagawa nilang entertainment.
Ang BBC hindi.
Correct.
Very, very demure. Very straightforward.
Yes.
Pero ang pinaka-favorite ko talaga sa BBC, panoorin niyo po sa kahit sa mga YouTube channel nila. Is their documentaries.
Yep.
I really love watching BBC documentaries. Lahat ng subjects pwede nang talakayin. From chaos theory or science to to punk rock, history of punk rock when it comes to music. Even medieval history nila, syempre, malaki ang history ng England and ng Western Europe when it comes to when you talk about medieval kingdoms and of course ancient history. Very ako sa nila, the way they present it. Siguro natin baka questionable yung accuracy dahil history yan wala naman na buhay, especially mga 300 years ago na pero syempre based on what they know through the written form by ancient people. Pero for the modern type of documentaries, like for example, ito lang yung about synthesizer music. They really have a plethora of videos and interviews. Talagang napakadami nilang materials to make even the very mundane documentary that they can create or they created. Meron silang archive of materials. Doon ako napapabilib sa BBC, sa British Broadcasting. I think the way they preserve history, especially mga material things, mga bagay-bagay. I think talagang they're into it. Talagang they don't take it for granted yung mga small things. Like for example, bigyan ko ng example. There's this documentary about synthesizers. Tapos sabi nila, there's this band who took their name from obscure game yung mga text-based games, board games nung back in the 80s, yung text-based siya na game na you will read the instructions and gagawa ka sarili mong metaverse dun sa libro. It's a text-based game. So sabi nung isang banda, we took our name from this game and I saw this word, the rise of the human league, sabi niya. So the band is Human League.
Human League, correct.
Sabi niya, nabasa niya tong librong ito sa isang very obscure game lumabas back in the mid 70s. And this was where we took the name. Alam mo ba, for visuals, the BBC has that game.
Oh, okay.
No kidding. The BBC has that game and they showed that book and that phrase where they took that name, the Human League. So
Correct.
nakita mo talaga, sabi ni Phil Oki, The Rise of the Human. Ay, hindi, this is Phil Oki, si that Heaven 17 guy.
Aha.
I forgot. Anyway, sabi niya, The Rise of the Human League. Nandun, pinakita talaga
Oo.
sa documentary na there was this book na nandun nga, The
Correct.
Rise of the Human League. Another one, nung sinabi nung sabi nung isa naman in-interview niya sabi niya, I had this book my ex-girlfriend gave me and I was sabi niya, my friend gave me because my girlfriend left me. And so I read this book, sabi niya. And that influenced me of creating this song. And the book was J.G. Ballard's Crash. You know, BBC has the first edition of that book. And they showed it
Galing,
on the
ano?
documentary.
Okay.
Di ba?
Yep.
Kahit anong hilingin mo, meron silang visual i-provide for that.
Correct.
Hindi katulad ko na gumagawa ko ng mga AVP for our video break. Kung ano na lang mga video kinukuha ko sa internet.
Yung mga binabato-bato natin. Yes.
You were saying?
But that says a lot kasi about BBC. Tsaka yung kanilang yung origin kasi 'di ba nung British Broadcasting Corporation, 'di ba? They were pre-war. They came at the behest of after Marconi developed the radio. Parang
yes.
'di ba? Sinunod-sunod nila, parang gusto nila mag-broadcast, gusto nila magkwento, 'di ba? Sabi nga nung BBC, even right down to the theme music of BBC. Jing. Ganun sila ka-accurate, 'di ba? That theme music was created by David Lowe, if I remember, 'di ba? Tapos it was first in 1999 before the turn of the century. Tapos yung countdown niya may bilang 4/4, yung tunog sa kita, yung ting ting ting, 'di ba? May ganun yun habang nagpe-play sa background. Parang countdown kasi, so
countdown ginawa
nilang countdown na imbis na nagka-countdown ng 5 4 3 2 1 doon sa TV, yung tugtog ang
tugtog.
Di ba?
Kasi yan it's still based on what they did on shortwave radio.
Yes.
Pag marinig mo
yung beep, yung toot na yon. Yep. Exactly.
It's exactly 1200. London Calling.
Yun.
Hindi nagagano, di ba? Kasi yun ang sabi niya, London Calling.
Calling.
But they're broadcasting from London.
From London, correct.
Yes, correct.
Di ba?
Kaya gustong-gusto ko talaga ang BBC, World News, shortwave. At the same time, gustong-gusto ko ang BBC News when it comes to documentaries naman, on
correct.
YouTube.
Correct.
Ang problema ko lang, I can only give you the YouTube channel of BBC, pero the documentaries kasi maraming iba-ibang tao nagpo-post nito. Kasi they just share it from other sources. Pero ang gaganda po talaga ng mga documentaries, panoorin niyo po basta BBC4 documentaries lalo na. Tapos may isa pa example, talagang napabilib ako sa kanila. Yung banda ng New Order. Sabi niya, sabi ni Bernard Sumner na nung time daw ng Joy Division, yung kinikwento niya, sabi niya, they couldn't afford a synthesizer. So what he did was he got a magazine called Electronics 2000 yata. I may be wrong. Tapos sabi niya, the magazine meron ng schematic for synthesizer na ginawa niya for months.
Okay.
Tapos kahit anong gawin niya, basta ginawa niya, pagtrabahuan niya, sabi niya napakasimple kasi malang synthesizer back in the 70s para daw presyong bahay.
Yep.
Ito, kaya niya kung siya bibili ng parts, bubuuin niya, DIY, do it yourself. Kaso hindi gumana. Yun yung niya. Pero yung magazine na sinasabi niya, exact edition ng magazine, tawag mo din, cover and everything, BBC has it. Pinakita ng BBC sa visual nila na yun yung magazine na saan nanggaling yung first synthesizer ng Joy Division. Galing, sobrang ang galing talaga. Sobrang bilib ako.
Tama. Tsaka may documentary din yan, Jing, yung archives ng BBC.
Oo.
Meron documentary yan.
Actually, yung favorite ko parang sinasabi ko parang yung yung Computer Chronicles. Pinapanood ko yung Tomorrow's World.
Yes, Tomorrow's World.
Dati kasi nung martial law days, pinapalabas yun sa TV.
Living Tomorrow ata.
Living Tomorrow.
BBC.
Living Tomorrow.
Yep.
So, palalabas yun, pero paulit-ulit kasi kukunti lang eh. Yun yung mga embassy films eh, nung araw.
Correct.
Pero ngayon nga, nasa nasa YouTube na sila. So, panoorin nyo po, para matatawa kayo kung ano yung technology nung araw na they said it will happen today.
Yep.
Although marami doon nangyari, pero marami doon hindi. So, ang sarap panoorin eh, no? Yung mga ganun na, yung mga prediction nila sa future which many didn't happen, but some actually did.
Correct.
Diba?
Correct. Tulad nung ang tawag nila doon sa telepono, the portable telephone.
Yes.
'Di ba? Portaphone, 'di ba?
Nung araw, ang tawag nga sa black hole nung araw, the black star.
Yes.
Ganyan yun nila.
The black star.
The black star.
Ang ganda nung sinabi ni Owen, gusto niya yung reporting ng BBC kasi walang sensationalism at
yun ang isasabi ko, kaya
yan,
boring eh, di ba? Boring.
Yan ang ethics kasi ng yan ang ethics ng British reporting, di ba? Yan ang ethics niya.
Yes.
Ganun siya talaga.
Actually, they still very high pa rin ang standard ng BBC kahit paano.
Correct.
Although syempre, they still protect syempre the interest of the empire.
Yep.
Wala kayo talaga wala na tayo magagawa doon.
Wala tayo magagawa doon.
They will still protect the interest of the empire, the monarchy and everything. Syempre. Yan, syempre England yan eh.
Correct.
Yung mga yan, you can set it aside.
Yes.
Kasi there's more to it than meets the eye. So, yung mga para yan eh. Para ako, sasabi ko nga eh, nakikinig, sabi ng bayaw ko sa US, nanonood ka Al Jazeera, gulat na gulat siya, gustong-gusto Al Jazeera. Yes, because there's more to it than what you actually hear. Al Jazeera is actually a really good news channel din. Yan. Kaya din ko muna itong dahil 8:30 na, video break tayo. Batiin ko lang muna, yun na nga, sabi nga ni, Joanna Goncillo, good evening po, stay safe po. Tapos, different stroke, folks, for different strokes. Sabi ni Nato, panayang hirit dito eh. Magsasalta naman siya dito mamaya. Garcia, Pampalaki. Dito kayo si Garcia, Pampalaki. Kamag-anak ko ba to? Good PM mga sir and attorney. Hindi po si attorney, si Tito Tribs po ang kasama natin ngayon. Buhay na mga na-vaccine. Mga vendors na mabuhay sa mga change. Medyo hindi ko nag-gets. Sige. Anyway, sige. Mag-video break muna tayo at naku, inaabangan ng mga tropa ni Nato yung kanya ang pag-appear ni Nato sa ating programa. Okay, we'll be back after the video break.
Here are the latest headlines for this week's Tuesday Mobility News Capsule. Kawasaki Heavy Industries, Subaru, Toyota, Mazda, and Yamaha Motor jointly announced today that, toward the achievement of carbon neutrality, they will take on the challenge of expanding fuel options through the use of internal combustion engines at the 3-hour Super Taikyu race in Okayama on November 13 to 14. Specifically, to further expand options for producing, transporting, and using fuel, the 5 companies intend to unite and pursue the 3 initiatives of participating in races using carbon-neutral fuels, exploring the use of hydrogen engines in 2-wheeled and other vehicles, and continuing to race using hydrogen engines. Toward achieving carbon neutrality, and in addition to advancing initiatives for electrification, by promoting further collaboration in producing, transporting, and using fuel in combination with internal combustion engines, the 5 companies aim to provide customers with greater choice. The Hyundai Grand Star X Cargo carries the best-loved features of Hyundai's legendary family van to get your, now normal, enterprise moving. All it takes is to stretch your creativity to create your niche in meeting the surge in demand for deliveries and services of all kinds. In fact, customizing vans into eye-catching businesses on wheels has become all the rage among South Korea's small entrepreneurs. The Philippines is slowly catching on as seen in the growing presence of mobile coffee vans, mobile pet grooming vans, and even trunk parties for small themed events. The possibilities are endless with the Hyundai Grand Star X Cargo. For riders who like to use their smartphone for map navigation, BMW Motorrad now offers the Connected Ride Cradle. The Connected Ride Cradle serves not only as a simple cradle for comfortably using the smartphone as a satellite navigation while riding. In addition, the navigation map and vehicle data such as lean angle, acceleration, deceleration and much more can be displayed via the BMW Motorrad Connected app using the multi-controller. Thanks to individually adjustable side clamps, the connected ride cradle is suitable for many different smartphone sizes, and charges the smartphone inductively according to the QI standard with a maximum of 7.5 watt, or wired via a USB-C connection with a maximum of 7.5 watt. An LED charging indicator provides information about the phone's charging status. For security, the connected ride cradle can be locked to the motorcycle's holder. Mazda Philippines introduced a new era of adventure and active lifestyle mobility as it unveils the all-new Mazda BT50. Rebuilt from the ground up, the latest generation of Mazda's venerable pickup truck melts the simplicity and dynamism of Kodo soul of motion design with the real-world practicality, durability and versatility of a solid new platform. The Mazda BT50 fuses together premium car-like comfort, elegance and style with the strength, stance and functionality of a dedicated workhorse. The BT50 will be available in 3 different trims, the manual transmission 4x2 priced at 1,390,000 pesos, the automatic transmission 4x2 priced at 1,430,000 pesos, and the automatic transmission 4x4 priced at 1,790,000 pesos. Those are the latest headlines for this week's Tuesday Mobility News Capsule. Please like us on Facebook and subscribe to the Tech Sabado YouTube channel. Now back to Today is Tuesday.
Alright, we're back.
Tuesday,
Yes, we're back here sa Today is Tuesday. Jing Garcia po ng TechSabado.com at saka, of course, Today is Tuesday and the Manila Times. Kasama natin every Tuesday naman si Raymund Tito Tribdino ng Malaya Business Insight dahil nga Martes ngayon wala si Atty. Ayan. Okay, may guest tayo tonight. Hindi na to guest kasi pati nakikita dito sa ating mga comment section saka nakakasama namin sa mga programa. Walang iba kundi si Renato Tranquilino. Nato, hi, good evening.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Pleasure to be here. Thank you, Master Jing and Tito Tribs. It's an honor to be here.
Wow, thank you. Welcome, Nato.
Nato, explain mo muna sa mga tao ba't parang may konti kang slang. Baka sabihin nila ulit ka dyan kami Pinoy kami dito kung mag-English
hindi ko nga, gusto ko nga makopy yung accent niyo okay, so history, a little bit of history. Lumaki din ako sa Pinas until age 12. Tapos, nag-move kami sa Australia, Sydney mismo. Dun from my adult life, dun ako lumaki until age 36. Then nagtrabaho ko for 8 years sa US. And then from the US, I came to the Philippines. So why come to the Philippines if you work in New York? Well, for me, hindi ko na-experience yung pagiging adult sa Philippines. And I had no idea how it was here. All I know is that Manila is an international city. And so it would be great to work in another international city. So nagtrabaho na ako Sydney, nagtrabaho sa New York. So Manila would be like another parang stripe on the shoulder sort of thing.
So parang expat ka pala.
Parang yeah, like parang ganun na parang. So it's like an exciting time for me, to move back to the place where I grew up. Ang sad lang is nung bumalik ako dito noong 2014, hindi ko na mahanap yung mga friends ko. Like wala na sila. So I had to make new friends. So, and part of my new friends, yung nakakilala ko sila, Lord De Vera, and Tito Patrick, and then you guys as well, especially you, Jing. I knew you through through Ron.
Yeah, Ron Francisco. Sa Chillax Radio pa tayo nun.
Yes. And then Owen. I suck at music, so I'm terrible with music. No, seriously, dude, like muntik na kami mag-break up nung wife ko nung nagliligawan kami kasi nung nag-holding hands kami one time, sabi niya sa akin, "Oh, do you know Elvis Costello?" Ang sabi ko ang response ko sa kanya is like, "Elvis Costello, isn't he like an impersonator of Elvis in Vegas?" Puta, dude, biglang bagsak yung kamay, like yung ibang pinalas kagad yung what? Eh, nagpo-promote ng bandang misis ko nung nasa university pa siya, you know. So, you know, that was how bad I was.
You're not one of the cool guys.
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, ako ang pinaka-uncool guys sa gap ko. Sila always lock up. They all know music, you know. Like, pagka nga gap po na music, wala na, quiet na ako. Ganyan na lang ako. Yan. Wala na. So, tahimik na. So, sila na kumakarry sa akin pagka ayaw gano'n.
So, before natin pag-usapan yung muna about being a publisher and an author of a book, ano mo muna, ano yung gap po? Yan yung ano, di ba? Yan yung kalaban ng ano, wag po.
Ay, hindi. No. Honored kung that you think so, pero no way. Okay, gap po. How did gap po started? It's nung at the height ng pandemic, March, so nagsasarahan na yung mga TV stations, ano? Like yung mga live studios.
Live shows, yes.
Yes.
So, favorite na namin dun yung vlog po. So, big followers kami na wag po noon. Like, we still are. Tapos, sabi ko, there's gotta be a way to do this. So, kausap ko si Owen. So, basically, sabi ko sa kanya, Owen, mag-design na tayo ng system na yung para dito na lang sa live. Basically, si Owen, sabi niya sa akin, ka ba, dude? I mean, not in those terms, but, you know, dude, meron ng ganyan. Bakit pa tayo magdi-design? Kumbaga. So, nag-try kami in different ways. Tapos, ako naman, dahil nga naging friends namin sila, Lord, sila, in-approach ko si Tito Patrick and say, hey, Tito Patrick, let's gawin natin to. So, testing. Tapos, gumana. So, sabi ko sa kanya, okay, gagawa ko ng show, tetest namin itong mga gusto namin gawin sa show namin. Tapos, pag okay siya, gamitin nyo yung system, yung namin. Doon nagsimula si Gap po on March 22nd. Okay. Tapos nung tinayal namin yung mga ginagawa nila sa studio, doon namin ginawa sa Gap po. Tapos pinasa namin yung way namin sa kanila para magtuloy-tuloy yung
programa nila.
Yeah. So at the time na everything was shutting down, tuloy-tuloy ang wag po. I think nag-stop lang sila mga 1 or 2 weeks. Tapos lahat na online. So we were pretty happy about that, and they supported us too na pinopromote nila kami like yung show namin ganon. Pero Gapo is really just like a fun kind of show na non-political, hindi kami heavy sa yung mga yung topics of conflict. Basta
parang today's Tuesday.
Yes.
Cool lang tayo. Hindi kami kasi sikat na katulad mo.
Di naman, what? Ayan, humihirit yung mga kasama mo sa Gapo. Ayan, si Owen, sabi ni Owen, pogi nung Renato, hi, love you. Sabi ni Cabo, hindi halata na 50.
Oo, 51 na ako. 51 na. Walang
ito, si Rick Bryan, Gapo para sa mga taga Olonga po. Alam mo, ito mga humihirit na to. Gagawin natin Gapo episode one time dito sa Today's Tuesday. Lahat kayo sasama namin dito.
Oo, gagawa tayo.
Pati to si Seven.
Grabe. Maraming censorship dyan mangyayari. Ganun yan. So, kami lang nga minsan, pag kami lang nila Owen, nag-aasara pa kami sa show. It's like, yeah, it's anything goes. Ano? So, any topic you wanna talk about, basta wala bang yung libelous like
sabi na dito criminal nga dito pag slander criminal case yun eh.
Yeah.
The last time I was at Gapo yung Voltes type usapan natin.
Oo, yun patok yun. I think yun ang one of the best episodes namin eh.
Wow. Kasi nandun ako.
Dapat, oo. Siyempre, na-highlight ka namin. Jing Garcia, greatest freaking like muso and host.
Sabi nga si Ron din yung doon eh. Nag-invita sa akin si Ron Francisco. Okay, pag-usapan natin yung as becoming a publisher. Sige nga, what made you start writing?
What made me start writing? Basically, like, di ba, mahilig ako sa sci-fi and after at 51, you've seen a lot of like good and bad, like sci-fi, you know. So I figured na, why not give it a shot, you know? So, and at the time, before I went into sci-fi, may sinulat akong first book. Um, I started off with film, really. Started writing scripts. Sa New York pa, nag-write na ako ng scripts. So yung transition from script writing to actual writing, medyo mahirap, pero nandun na yung basics. Kaya lang nung nag-edit na yung editor ko, parating sinasabi sa akin, stop being a director, be a writer. So kasi yung design ko ng stories is parang scenes lumalabas.
Parang script, movie script.
Parang script, oo. Okay. So as a compromise sa sarili ko, kaya napadali kong gawain yung first book ko, ginamitan ko siya ng Instagram para i-describe yung mga events na nangyayari doon, which is based on real life events. So merong reference yung mga tao habang nagbabasa sila ng first book ko. So it's kind of like, so ang pitch ko nun doon sa libro ko is like, I'm creating directing a movie in your head. So that's why when you read this book, you need the Instagram open para ma-reference siya. So I thought okay, let's keep at that. And ang problema dun now, from the writing perspective, ang na-realize ko is you learn a lot of things. How you form a team, di ba? Like, hindi lang ang pag-writing, if you really want to take it seriously, dapat talaga meron kang team na that you can bounce off ideas na, editor mo, ganon, whether you pay them or not. Yung magpupush sa book mo, sino bang magpa-publish nun sa newspapers, ganon, just as basics stuff. And what I found was dito sa Pinas, pag gusto mo mag-write ng urban fantasy o di kaya sci-fi, huwag kang masyadong excited na gumawa ng 500-page na book kasi mahirapan magbasa ang karamihan. Ang tina-target nila is mga 150 to 100 pages. Okay, which is interesting, whereas galing sa Australia kami, nung mga 15, 16 kami, baliwala sa amin magbasa ng 500-page book.
Yes.
I think. Yung mga 200 page, wala, binabaliwala na. Di namin binabasa. Basta pag sa amin, ang vision namin, it's like, kung 400 pages siya, okay siya. But anything less than that, it's like, nah, it's for kiddies. For kids. so parang yeah. Ibang dynamics. Ha?
Snooty.
So, bale, ibang dynamics dito. So, based on that, alam ko na, I thought, okay, I'll write a book for the Philippines. And the reason why I also did that was yung sinabi sa akin dati ni Lord De Vera, not Lord God, Lord De Vera. Sabi niya sa akin, is like, kung gusto mong sumikat na sa pagsusulat, dapat sumikat ka muna sa Pinas. Kasi something like Pinoy ka and this is your base. Okay. And to be quite honest, I lived in New York and I did a lot of art shows, art exhibitions sa New York. And I felt na mas malaki ang fan base ko dito nung nagsusulat na ako. Kesa sa what I was doing with the art show in New York. And the love like for writers is talagang malaki dito sa Pinas. I mean, when I promoted like my first book, nakaabot ako ng Davao. I mean, sa Davao, nilagay ako sa isang page like yung libro ko sa Sunstar. So that's how much I think the media loves authors, like especially of something different, halimbawa fantasy or sci-fi. And so there is a bright future here and for sci-fi writers and fantasy book writers. Kaya lang is yung cost. It's prohibitive to go into writing, especially kung i-expect mo sa publisher na sasaluhin yung
cost ng
pag-produce
production.
book mo. Oo.
Yes.
Imagine yung libro ko, ang cost ng production nun is about over mga 500 pesos. Yung 500 page book, mga 500 pesos plus.
Per book.
Okay,
Yeah.
per book. Oo. So imagine kailangan mo mag-produce ng 200 nun. So the bill goes up, you know.
Yeah.
Dapat mabenta mo yan. Oo. Sinong bibili ng kung ibibenta mo yan ng 550 o 600 plus yung libro, sinong bibili nun? Unless it's a textbook. Okay. So,
of course,
the textbook sa school, okay? Which I must say, I tried to position the book as a literary reference sa universities ganon. Syempre para makabenta. But otherwise, mahirap magbenta talaga ng for entertainment lang. So that's why I think binababaan nila yung page sizes. So in the case of 100-page book, okay siya. Like kaya siyang bilhin ng mga tao, whatever would be the cost, you know. So yun ang napansin ko sa travels ko in terms of being into graduating into a sci-fi writer.
Pero hindi ba because of digital nagkaroon ng bagong
yes,
nagkaroon ng bagong face ang publishers, even the authors, di ba?
Yes, that is very much so. Nasa New York pa ako. Maraming nagsasara na magazines and newspapers and switching to digital. Pero I did not tweak on that. Like kasi ang mindset ko pa rin is old school eh. Like, you know, piece of paper, like a bunch of paper bound together to form a book, you know, like traditional publishing, right? Pero dahil nakuha ko ni Popping for my first book, at saka itong current book ko is napunta kay 8 Letters Bookstore and Publishing. Yung dalawang yon, pinoposition nila yung sarili nila as digital publishers. And what does that mean? Digital publishers, basically, they take your book, tapos pinopost nila chapter by chapter yung libro mo, and then they ask for payment to keep going. If you like the book enough, if you keep going, you have to pay the premium price. So ganun na si digital. And yun ang depending on anong arrangement ng bayaran sa'yo, guaranteed ka with some sort of payment. You know, hindi katulad ng traditional publishing, maghihintay ka ng 6 months o a year bago ka mabayaran, ganun.
I-recoup muna nila, di ba? They have to recoup the cost, the production cost before they give you royalties or whatever profit from your book.
Si digital, rapid. Meron ka ng advance, meron kang completion bonus pag natapos mo yung tapos yung monthly mo, meron ka kagad monthly habang nagbabasa yung mga tao. So imagine that. So kung magpa-publish ka, syempre, you know, anong hahanapin mo? Are you gonna go down the traditional route na maghihintay ka for a long time, or you go digital? Of course, you know, the big people, the big publishing houses are still doing the whole traditional thing. Pero ang reach naman nila ang dami, no? Kaya malaking kita mo pag nakapasok ka doon. Pero yun nga, pag nakapasok ka. Yeah. I mean, to give you an idea how many people how many publishing houses I did. Probably umabot ako nag-apply ako 150 plus nag-submissions, like for over a year. And I still do every now and then. Until nahanap ko nga itong sila Pop Inc. Na-pitch sa kanila yung libro ko, yung first book ko. Tapos nakuha siya. Si Fate of a Distant Future, nakuha siya ni 8 Letters nung merong nag-pitch dahil nag-post ako sa isang Pinoy website, you know, sa Facebook. Like, I mean, I was marketing myself. I was like posting what I did and what the book is about. So, you know, it's really hard work na yung magsulat ka is like half the problem. The second part is like either getting a publisher, digital or traditional. or self-publishing. Pero in either cases, you have to promote yourself. As in, and that's hard, man. For a writer, ako, I mean, how would you like it to keep talking about yourself and everything that you do over and over again? But that's the kind of thing you have to do.
Dapat meron ka rin publicist.
Yes. Oo,
diba?
meron nag-offer sa akin na maging publicist. Muntik ko nang kunin. Kaya lang, pera. You know, I mean, yes. It's like,
it's not cheap to be, no?
No. Pero investment yon, okay? Yung sinasabi nilang, you know, kung magiging writer ka, you know, be a writer. Well, no. Writing is just like going for a university degree or something. You know, you have to spend the money to get to the point where you have a complete product. Kasi yung libro mo kasi yung product ng brain mo eh. You know, so dapat alam mo din siyang i-market. As in, ipupush mo talaga siya. Now, kung walang maniniwala sa'yo, ito pa isa, kahit na mabait ang family mo and all that, like, you can't expect them to read your stuff. You know, that's the sad part. It's a solo flight. Now, don't expect your dearest friends and your families to want to read your stuff. They won't. Okay? So, kaya dapat ikaw mismo, you have to come out of your shell and push the stuff to other people. Okay? And hopefully some of those family members might decide, si Jing Garcia pala, nagbasa ng libro mo. Kaya nga, babasahin ko yan. Di ba? Ganun. O si Tito Tribs, binasa niya yung libro mo. Ayan, associate professor yan. Mabasa nga yung libro. That's the kind of level that you have to deal with. Like when you're writing a book.
Dapat may mag-endorse no?
Yes.
Na iba.
Yeah.
Habang pinakikinggan ko yung kwento mo, Nato, naalala ko kasi because I help a friend, si Norman Wilwayco, to publish his book. At that time kasi, so he published, he's the author of books like Responde and Recta. So that book, Recta, that was the one I helped him publish. And, you know, everything that you mentioned, yan din eh. Akala mo may target market ka na. Akala mo ang bilis mailatag, di ba? Tapos napapublish na, tapos meron ng mga supposedly, we were marketing it on Facebook and this is the latest book and so on and so forth. Tapos pagdating nga doon sa bayaran, biglang nawala na lahat ng tao. Di ba? Nakakuha ng PDF copy, tapos biglang nawala. Di ba? When we actually printed the book, right?
Yeah, yung isang the thing with also, I mentioned nga digital. The thing with digital din ang dali ma-pirate ng works mo. Tapos before you know it, kumalat. Before you know it, iba na may author ng libro.
So true. That's true. That is so true. So how do you? The thing is with that, ito ang way ko dyan, especially for new authors. The way to combat that, of course, is how can you make it special? Yung libro mo, so that every book is the same almost in a page, diba? In the way they look. But how do you make yours special? So in my case, what I did is I said to my printer, I want a book na pag nilagay mo siya sa table, maganda siyang tingnan. Okay? Pwede mo siyang ilagay sa dentist office, sa restaurant, like habang naghihintay sila, they can read something. At saka ang ginawa ko dito sa bagong libro ko, nilagyan ko siya ng texture na para siyang leather yung cover. So pag pinili nila yung libro, mafe-feel nila na talagang, meron silang binibili na something special, hindi lang yung libro. So yung mga gimmick na gano'n. So as a writer, hindi ka lang dapat like, sulat ko na yung story. It's like, how do you package the whole thing? Ito na yung sample ng libro. So when you get this,
hindi nakikita na sa virtual. That's the background. Your background is also the cover of the book. Yes.
Yan.
It's also the cover of the book. Okay. Now I get it.
Yeah. So also yung may mga color ng color pages, ng mga pictures and all that. So may illustration din siya. Pero it's the texture. Yung pag na-feel mo yung texture niyan, iba talaga. And you need to do that. And if you can't do that, the other thing is to go on a lot of damn shows and go on, have a publicist to talk about your work para maengganyo yung tao to actually buy your book and not get just the PDF. Have book signings, ganon, like, you know, and so that you can meet the people and talk to them. So it's a whole gamut of marketing after tapos mo na yung libro mo. Because otherwise, ganun nga mangyayari. I mean, if they can't see your face anyway, and you're not really that interesting of a person, bakit na hindi lang pirate yung book mo? So it's like, and then read it, and then that's it.
Yep. Very deep yung understanding ni Nato dun sa libro because reading, yan ang hindi siguro naiintindihan ng maraming millennials sa pag nagbabasa ka ng libro. Naalala mo mga libro ni Robert Ludlum, merong embossed.
Yes.
So may illustration naka-emboss siya.
Yes.
Mga, 'di ba?
Yes.
Tapos I remember
yung standard sa niya, book cover niya yan.
Oo, 'di ba? Standard yan sa book cover
mahal
niya.
yun.
Oo, but ibig sabihin kasi nga reading a book is very tactile. Nasa eroplano ka, nagbabasa ka ng libro. Tapos gusto mo yung libro, maganda dapat yung pagkagawa ng stitching o kaya yung saddle, yung glue. Yung spine, diba? Kasi nabubuisit ka pag natatanggal yung mga pahina, di ba?
Yep.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Diba?
Kaya mas marami may gusto ng ng hardbound pa rin. Especially di ba? They like the hardbound books. Kasi nga because mas matibay. Kasi sa pocket book kasi, yun na yung the cheaper version na kasi yun eh. Di ba?
Pero yung mga gusto ng mga hardbound, mga collectors talaga yun.
Collectors, yeah.
Bihira yan sa Pinas. Unless sikat ka na katulad na Jing Garcia ang pangalan mo, di kaya yun yung pipilahan, kumbaga. Pero
dapat si Lord ang sabi mo, si Lord. Kasi si Lord talaga sa publish.
Ibang level yun, oo. Actually, teka lang, yung libro niya,
kasi talaga si Lord sa real author talaga, walang kumpik-kumpik talaga, no, di ba?
Sa libro niya yun.
Saka si Jessica Safran.
Parang tinubuan ng taong tinubuan ng utak yun. First time pa lang.
Utak na tinubuan. No, wrong. It's an utak na tinubuan ng tao.
Yun. Tama. Oo. Magaling yun. Like, i-mention mo lang isang libro. Ay, nasa shelf ko yan. Nabasa ko yan. Gusto mo ba? Ganun yun.
Natawa ko sa comment niya ni Seven Hosting Fee. Sabi niya, comics at Xerox lang daw kinaya niya. Mahal kasi. Gago talaga ito si Anton. Pero sabi niya, pahingi daw. Gusto kang kumita ni Nato. Kang libro-libro.
Sino yan? Si Owen? Parating ganun
si Seven.
Si Seven. Sige. Basta i-promote mo. Benta muna tayo. Tapos papadala na.
Bigyan mo ng isa, benta niya 10.
Ayun. Oo. Sa'yo Singapore, Wait, galing. Pag nakabenta ka Singapore, dude, hanga ako sa'yo. Kampahin kita. Oo. But yun na nga. I mean, like, kung sikat ka talaga, it's like a chicken and the egg thing, man. It's like, paano ka sisikat? What do you have to do? Like, paano ka mapupunta sa... I mean, right now, naghahanap ako na-interview ako ng dalawang beses sa New York at saka sa Vegas. Sa isang local radio station discussing the same thing we're talking about, like about the book. So you need to keep doing that. Tapos na-interview din ako sa India, ganon. So you have to keep like marketing the stuff. Kasi otherwise, paano mo may pagpatuloy yung pagsusulat?
And no one will do it for you.
Yes. Oo. Diba? Teka guys, pinag-uusapan natin yung libro at saka yung proseso. Hindi natin alam kung ano yung libro. Kailangan sabihin nyo kung ano yung title ng libro.
Okay.
Sabi muna ni Michael Lance, NFT mo daw yung book.
Talagang dumadating ang kakapalan ng mukha. Pagdating sa...
Pwede.
NFT
yung isang libro ko, pwedeng gawing NFT talaga yon dahil based yun naglalaro ako ng League of Legends eh. Yung mga battle scenes doon parang League of Legends talaga.
Ah.
But anyway,
Tama ka, Trip. Sabi nga ni Seven, ano daw title ng book? Ano naman?
Okay. All right. Without further ado,
Oo.
ang title ng libro ay Fate of a Distant Future. And it's a pure Pinoy sci-fi
yeah.
book.
Okay.
And
Ganda, sci-fi.
Oo.
this is probably like if I was to expand all these 4 books, siguro mga total niya is gonna be about 600 times 2,400 pages. Kaya ginawa ko na lang siyang 100 plus pages and summarized yung mga stories.
Yes.
Okay, so 4 na story siya in the one book. So yung first story nung book is about the Philippines na nahati siya. Like naging North Philippines and South Philippines. Si North Philippines, basically yung Luzon na renta in the way that the Nanking Treaty was done to Hong Kong.
Yep.
Pero may controversy dun sa pagrerenta sa Hong Kong. Doon papasok yung bida ko at the time na nira-write ko doon is Nate Domagoso. Okay. So and so based on that, makikita niyo yung development doon kung ano nangyari and how na-boost ang space capability ng Philippines. So I think spoiler alert, yes, nakapasok ang China pero umunlad din yung technology natin as a result of that. Yun lang, medyo shady yung naging deal. Kaya enter si Senator na para baguhin yung situation. Kasi nalipat, sa nangyaring gano'n, nalipat yung Manila, yung capital natin sa Davao City. So ang Davao City naging New Manila City. New Manila.
Oh, okay.
So, yun yung first story pala. Oo.
Okay.
Yeah. Yung second story niya is about so nakapunta na tayo sa isang planeta. Pero pagdating natin doon, meron mga kagaguhan na nangyari na biglang gustong pabagsakin yung eroplano doon sa planeta para lang masabi na nakaland na yung ship at hindi ma-bad trip yung mga investors sa Philippines. Okay, so parang, you must land at this day. No matter what happens, we need you on the ground. Tamang-tama pa is Independence Day ng Philippines, yung dapat na mag-land sila doon para pumatok sa stock market. Yun na yun. Nagpapanik yung mga tao kasi nawala ng control yung ship at saka pabagsak siya, yung colony ship. Meron mga 200 plus tao doon sa loob ng ship. So, yan ang premise ng isang yon. Yung pangatlong story is about how the Philippines basically cheated their way into becoming a number one food provider sa solar system and also planet colonizing like machine. Ang daming nagalit sa atin dahil for once in our lifetime as a country, we broke all the rules to get to number one and we didn't care at that point who we stepped on. And meron namang tumulong sa atin, but yun nga, it's a little bit controversial na nangyari yun. And then the last story is about piracy, how di ba yung state-sponsored piracy? Like marami tayong naririnig na piracy na hindi matapos-tapos yung bakit ba may pirates? Parang hindi na nauubusan ng pirates. So basically, the book talks about that on how the whole thing is actually intrinsically tied dun sa government machinations. So those 4 stories, they span over generational period, mga 1,000, 2,000 years apart.
Bagal.
Anyway,
Natawa ko, sorry hindi ko tinatawanan yung book. Pero natawa ko sa sa comment ni Owen. Gago talaga si Owen. Sabi ni Owen, nung tinype ko sa Shopee yung title, panty ang yung lumabas. WTF na what na? Inaasar ka eh. Inaasar ka. Inaasar si Owen.
Okay. Kasi puro kalokohang websites pinapasok yan, kaya ganyan yan. Ano ba yung inom mo ngayon?
Pero actually, no, although alam ko meron mga sci-fi books, mga local authors, pero pero bihira. Actually, bihira rin ng ang sci-fi talaga sa sa mga local.
Maraming magaling sa atin, kaya lang hindi sila napupush.
Yes.
Napupush ang gawa nila.
Yan, guys, Nato, sorry to break the train of thought. Yan sinabi mong yan, napansin ko yan dahil yung isa kong anak, my second son is an animator. So pag sumasama ako dun sa mga conventions, nakikita ko yan, ang daming mga comic book writers, ang daming authors, ang daming storytellers ng Pinoy sci-fi.
Yes.
Na hindi hango sa walang model. Although hindi ko pa nababasa yung book mo, Nato, na-feel ko na very organic at saka very Pinoy siya talaga yung kwento. Kasi ang daming mga ang daming mga bagay-bagay na kumikiliti sa utak mo na, 'di ba, na dinaya natin yung way to be number one, nahati yung Pilipinas sa dalawa, 'di ba? In a sci-fi way, we're talking about the realities of the Philippines, 'di ba? So
actually sabi nga niya, yung yung time element niya, sabi niya Independence Day ng Philippines. Anong araw 'yun sa anong month, kasi baka independence from what country?
Di ba? Tapos nai-imagine ko si Michael Lance nandito sa kwentong ito kasi NASA yan di ba?
Yes.
Nasa Las Piñas.
Nasa Las
Piñas siya. Oy, wala, joke lang, Michael Ayan, sabi ni Michael, blockchain ba ang makakatalo sa piracy?
I think okay, ito lang guys, when you read sci-fi, ang most common misconception is technology, like advancements, blah blah, spaceships. Pero when you look at sci-fi, it's really based on human aspirations, like kung ano man yung aspiration ng Middle Ages, parang pareho pa rin hanggang ngayon.
That's true.
Yes.
Kaya madaling magsulat ng sci-fi. Well, I find madaling magsulat ng sci-fi kasi yung ginagawa ko ngayon, gagawin pa rin yan 2,000 years kahit na gumagamit tayong quantum computer. So di kaya meron na tayong colony sa Mars o di kaya sa Moon.
Correct.
Ang point ko lang na gustong gawin sa mga ginagawa kong books is to inspire others na mag-isip, maging analytical kayo mag-isip, and let's unite as a nation to go forward. Kasi ganun nakapunta sa buwan si China, si US. Believe it or not, Ethiopia has got a space program. Australia has got a space program. Meron kami mga ilang satellites na launch. 25 million lang yung mga yon. Kami. So I think sci-fi is a way of training the mind ng Pinoy na we are just as capable as everyone else, and we have just as much resources that we can use to get with the first worlders to go off world, so yung dream na ay pang spaceship, hindi like pag tiningnan mo yung sci-fi, it's about the intent.
Correct.
The intent ng the person back in the Middle Ages, the person today, and the person like tomorrow. And it's the sign. And it's either we change that or again, and that becomes the fate of a distant future if depending on what you choose.
So, and also, no, I just want to comment, when you say kasi sci-fi, doesn't necessarily mean na far off in the future.
Yes.
Although your title says that. Kasi one of my favorite authors kasi na medyo mas tawag natin sci-fi authors, sila Anthony Burgess and J.G. Ballard. ang ganda nga ng isang description sa kanya, nung isang may nabasa ko, ang description sa kanila, kasi nga hindi far off sa future. Sabi niya, it's just 5 minutes into the future.
Yes.
Yun lang yung ano niya, the way they wrote the book was just 5 minutes into the future, and that already is sci-fi.
Correct.
It's already the
Right,
future.
Yep.
Ang galing nga, sabi ko nga, nung binabasa ko yung mga libro nila, it's not that far off.
Yeah.
Hindi ganun kalayo
That's
yung
true.
sinasabi nilang mangyayari.
Tsaka gusto ko, sorry Nato.
Yeah,
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
You stay.
I was thinking kasi from an academic perspective. For example, at school, pinipilit ko na mapasama sa great books. It's a subject, di ba? Great books. Mapasama yung 1897 novel ni H.G. Wells, yung The War of the Worlds.
War of the Worlds.
Yes.
Gusto ko yung isama kasi yung War of the Worlds was a story that had scientific, social, and technological implications during that time. Tapos, mythology siya eh. Fable, kwento lang siya, di ba? Kwento lang siya. Pero, dahil dun sa kwentong yon nagkaroon ng di ba? Nagkaroon ng, ganito pala, baka, how do you call it? A sense of wonder. Di ba? Nagkaroon ng sense of wonder yung So, parang na-excite ako dun sa kwento mo dun sa libro na yun kasi makakabasa ako ng Pilipino, mga Filipino characters, baka kapitbahay ko lang yun si 'di ba si Roger, sabi mo yung lead Roger ba yung lead character, baka kapitbahay ko lang.
Yung sa first one si Nate Lomagoso.
Yun, 'di ba? O baka kapitbahay lang natin yun, 'di ba?
Yeah, that's right.
Correct, right?
I mean, a lot of these characters are going to be just the same as the characters they are today. Pero yun nga, 4,000 years in the future. And they're going to be aspiring to pretty much the same thing as what we are doing now. Ang gusto ko lang makita is like from 4,000 years from now, I want them to think na in 2021, Pinoys were already looking at, going to the stars. You know?
Nice.
And I think that will fundamentally change the dynamics of people as they start to choose their leaders. So ano bang klaseng leader meron ka? Kung yung leader mo is pabanjing-banjing lang or patawa or pa-criticize o puro sabi-sabi lang like pakitang tao. Hindi 'yun ang magdadala sa atin sa stars. And ano ba nasa stars? Ano ba nasa moon? Ano ba nasa Mars? Andun yung minahan eh.
Correct.
Andun yung mga kayamanan, nandun sa mga asteroid belts. Kung usap-usapan lang at pasikat yung like pasakop o di kaya like pabenta ng drugs ganun. Kasi hindi tayo makakarating dun eh. Hindi kaya what we do today, what we set out to do today is very important to what happens in the future. Like as a nation, as Pinoys, and I think that's sci-fi to me.
Yeah, 4 years from now, wala nang Philippines. Gumagala. Actually, wala nang borders ang Earth. We could be divided just like parang Orwellian, divided into 3 continents or something like that.
Correct. Yeah.
Or whether just one planet, and we fight against other planets like colonies from the moon or colonies in Mars. Ganun na mangyayari. But definitely, iba, not among ourselves here.
I think makikita mo yan sa Mars pagka yung nabuo na yung colony doon. Kasi ang tingin nila, di ba, gagawing minahan yan nila Elon Musk, Bill Gates. Ang mangyayari dyan, magre-revolt yung Mars.
Of course, it's like what happened dito. History will repeat itself. History will repeat itself in outer space.
Yes.
Definitely. Ang dami ng stories about the moon colony rebelling against Earthlings. Even yung Expanse, 'di ba? That sci-fi series Expanse. 'Di ba? They're in the asteroid belts. Tapos yun ang mga colonizers na nandun. They're independent from what's happening between di ba? In between Mars and and Jupiter. And of course, don't forget di ba? Firefly, Serenity, di ba?
Yes, that's right.
So they're so far away from Earth, it's a totally different
Correct.
culture,
Correct.
di ba?
Pero
That is
guys, bago natin madating yung post-apocalyptic future na yan, kailangan natin malaman saan tayo makakakuha ng Fate of a Distant Future.
I'm
yes,
sorry.
so
Okay.
nga. Okay, medyo overtime na rin tayo, pero sige.
Sige,
Promote
go.
your book.
Sorry.
Promote your
Okay,
book.
okay, so if you're overseas, nasa Amazon na siya as an ebook and also as a paperback. And if you're in the Philippines, I will have it ready for Shopee before the end of the week. So pwede
Yun.
Hinaharap kasi ni Owen sa Shopee.
Wala pa, dude. Zero stock pa. But yeah, like padating na yung mga books, may inaayos lang ng kaunti. And I hope you enjoy it and it'll be great.
Galing. Yan. So hintayin natin sa Shopee. Pero
Yeah.
nasa Amazon na siya, nasa Amazon.
Yes, sir.
Magkano sa Amazon?
I think yung ebook is like $6 and then
Not bad.
yeah, and ano naman unknown author ako eh. So tapos yung paperback is like $12. So for
typical
yeah,
prices
it's
ng book.
very typical. At saka ang kagandahan lang ng book is like, I love my yung illustrators ko si Sam Rem at saka si Montales. I forget his name. I'm sorry. Sam Rem at saka si Mr. Montales na mga two illustrators ko. And of course my editor si Alma na Scarpio. So he really did a great job.
Si Alma pala. Wow.
Yeah, she's amazing. Like,
yes, she is.
Alma.
Si Alma,
Carpio?
Yep, si Carpio.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh yeah, our friend. Kaibigan namin.
Yeah, she's wonderful. And she was also a supporter of my first book. So and also yung mga sponsor ko ngayon si Mr. Jeff Bora at saka si CEO ng Winford at saka si Jamie Ledesma, which is communication director now Winford. Yeah, they're really good. Like they support the arts and they really back me in terms of like yung sa launch, coming launch sa January. So maraming establishments na willing naman mag-support sa mga sci-fi authors and fantasy authors sa Philippines. You just have to believe in yourself na magano.
Gago talaga si Owen. I thought Alma Moreno, Diyos ko Lord. Okay, show your book again. Show your book again sa ano. Yeah.
Kita ba? Ay nag-ano eh. Parang
lagay mo sa front mo.
Ayan
o.
So, Fate of a
Hindi kita. Ano yun?
Hindi kita? Tanggalin mo kaya yung yung virtual
background. Sige. Tanggalin mo muna yung background mo para makita ng mga tao na may actual book.
Yeah, okay.
Yan.
Fate of a Distant Future. Yan po ang libro ni Renato Tranquilino. Hopefully, no? Hopefully na tangkilikin niyo po siya nasa Amazon, of course, pag lumabas na po yung kanya hardbound ba? Softbound?
Yeah, it's hardbound.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, Nato.
Thank you, guys. Really appreciate the time. And
yes.
Yes. Okay, yan po si Renato Tranquilino, author ng libro niyang Fate of the Distant Future, and of course, publisher din. Hirap, no? Kaya pag-publisher na sarili ng libro. Okay, maraming salamat. Gumanda yung ating usapan kaya nag-overtime tayo ng sobra-sobra. Pero okay lang. Na masaya naman dahil marami din tayong mga kalokohan dito sa ating comment section na nagpapasaya po ng ating Martes.
Correct.
Okay, sabi ni Ira James, yes, Universal Century best timeline. Yes, Universal Century. Oo nga naman, yan. Mobile Suit Gundam, yan. Universal Century yan, 1979.
Yeah.
Okay, sabi ni Seven, no limit ang ba yan? Si Barat saka si Crisostomo.
Tapos
dapat sumulat ka ng modern day Elias Simeon, yun sa ano. Okay, tapos sabi ni Michael, tama-tama na-addict ako ngayon sa StarCraft 2. Back to the Future in Millennial. Okay.
Correct.
Ayan, pwede ipapatato yan. Kaya ginagago ko talaga ni Owen. Anyway, maraming salamat ulit. Nato, kaibigan natin dito sa Today's Tuesday sa Tech Sabado. Mga tropa, siyempre, nandiyan yung mga tropa. Kaibigan niya sa GAP po. Tuwing kailan yung GAP po?
Mondays and Fridays. Like at 9 o'clock.
Okay. Yeah, so hindi po kasabay ng Tuesday at Sabado, kaya pwede kayo manood ng GAP po. Yan, kayo.
Pag piliin nyo yung Today's Tuesday. Mas makasaysayan yun.
There's something for everyone naman.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Maraming salamat po sa ating guests, of course. And of course, sa ating mga nakipag-interact sa atin ngayong Martes, ngayong Tuesday. May sasabihin ka pa ba, Tito Tribs? Kung hindi, paalam na.
Sige, gigreet lang tayo, Tito Jings, kay Macy, Felix, Vihilla, kay estudyante ko, kay Ali. Nandyan siya, and some of my other students. Tapos, basahin ko lang yung isang natawa ko dun sa isang comment ni Owen, kasi nung sinabi ata ni Nato na si Alma, ng kaibigan natin si Alma na Scarpe, sabi niya akala daw niya si Alma Moreno.
Si Alma Moreno, sabi nga niya. Tawa nga ako dun. Sabi ni 703, today is Marites.
Today is Marites. Maraming salamat po sa lahat. Tandaan nyo yung Space 1999, tapos na po ang 1999. 2021 na po, di ba?
Anong next sci-fi year? Kasi tapos na rin ang Blade Runner last year na. Noong 2019 pa ang Blade Runner. I think the next is Aliens.
Yep.
2022. 21-22.
21-22. Tama. Yan na yung next sci-fi year. Dapat nga nag-end of the world na noong 2012, di ba?
Oo nga.
Yes, that's true. Balitang balita yun.
Correct, di ba? Okay, maraming salamat po, Raymund Tribdino po. Ito si Tito Tribs ng Malaya Business Insight at saka ng Today's Tuesday. Maraming salamat po. Ang sarap ng kwentuhan talaga pag ang kwentuhan, di ba?
Ang saya-saya pag gantong
ng kwentuhan
kaya sumasaya Martes sa mga tao sa Martes natin. Okay, Jing Garcia po ng TechSabado.com at saka syempre ng The Manila Times. Tech Sabado po sa dating Saturday, kasama natin si Atty. Melvin Calimag ng Newsbytes.ph. Like at follow nyo po ang aming mga social media pages. Naka-angkla po ang Today's Tuesday sa Tech Sabado. Kaya po namin minimension dito ang Tech Sabado. Ang aming Facebook page, facebook.com/TechSabado at saka facebook.com/Newsbytes.ph. Sa Twitter din po kami at Tech Sabado at saka at Newsbytes.ph. Sa mga nanonood sa amin sa YouTube channel, sa ating YouTube channel, meron pong mga mag-subscribe lang po kayo sa ating channel at i-share nyo pong ating ating programa doon. At siyempre, Alex Fuentes sa YouTube siya nanonood. Yan. Good evening sa iyo from Alex Fuentes of Bacolod City. Tapos, ayan po, i-subscribe at saka i-like nyo po ating mga ating mga shows sa Tech Sabado at sa aming YouTube channel. At siyempre, share nyo po para po marami po makapanood at marami makapag-interact sa ating mga programa every week. Of course, ang aming website, TechSabado.com, saka Newsbytes.ph. Remind ko lang sa ating mga viewers na kami po ni Tito Tribs ay COVID survivors. Kaya wear a mask parate. Kahit wala na pong face shield sa mga maraming lugar. Kaya pasalamat po tayo sa awa po ng Diyos. tapos na po ang pagdurusa sa face shield.
Bistado na kasi, bistado na.
Okay, pasalamatan ko pala muna bago tayo mag-extra. Pasalamatan ko muna yung mga kaibigan natin sa PLDT Smart Group Corporate Communications. Tulad po nila Miss Cathy Yang, Althea, Eli, Monet, Kate, Skip, and Jane Wo. Ating kaibigan si Wo. At saka syempre, thank you sa MSI Philippines, VSTECS para po sa pagsuporta sa TechSabado.com website. Maki po ang gamit namin audio equipment dito sa Today's Tuesday at sa Tech Sabado. Mabibili niyo po yan sa themusicsource.com themusicsourceph.com para makabili po kayo ng mga Maki products po para sa inyong mga pro audio equipment, locally distributed by Forerunner Technologies. Okay. Do what is morally good and what is morally right. Vote for what is morally good and vote for what is morally right. Yan po ang aming payo ngayon eleksyon. Bahala na kayo. Simple lang po yan eh. Kung Kristiyano kayo, tingnan nyo lang po ang Ten Commandments. At mababawasan na po mapapaikli po ang inyong listahan sa pagpili ng inyong iboboto. Okay. Maraming salamat sa inyong lahat. Good evening. Have a great week ahead bago mag-Tech Sabado. Next week ulit. Thank you, Raymund. Thank you, Nato.
Thank you.